Hey, welcome. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. This video, we're going to be reviewing the eaglemoss Star Trek, the official Starships collection, number 124, the SS Emmette. Its classification is the Emmette type, launched in the 22nd century, crew of just 30, length of 130 meters. Test vehicle, United Earth, 22nd century, warp 1 plus. Nice profile. And as you can probably tell, this is the ship that was in the opening title sequence of Star Trek Enterprise. The SS Emmette was one of the Earth's first warp-powered starships whose architecture was similar to that of later Starfleet vessels. It featured an elongated saucer section with pylons in the shape of wings on either side onto which warp nacelles were attached. Got some purple glow going there. The SS Emmette was an Earth starship that bridged the gap between the Phoenix and the launch of Enterprise NX-01. The Emmette's rocket engines were seen glowing brightly as it flew over the Luna colonies sometime between the late 21st and 22nd century. The Emmette's rocket engines were used to power the ship at sublight speeds, as impulse engines were not introduced until slightly later on the similar-looking Warp Delta ship, which I've already reviewed. Again, say what you want about Enterprise, but they had some good designs. The Warp Delta was an evolution of the SS Emmette's design. It retained the same basic shape, but was upgraded with impulse engines and featured a more recognizable bridge module. Because as you can see, this does not have a recognizable bridge module. Very nice graphics. eaglemoss. The Bussard ram scoop. Scoops up hydrogen. The Emmette-type starships seen in the Mirror universe were armed with photonic torpedoes. In the Prime universe, okay, here we go. Photonic torpedoes were not seen until 2153, when they were added to Enterprise NX-01's armory in order to defend the ship before it set off to find the Xindi weapon. And Mr. John Eaves is the designer for this. Illustrator John Eaves was asked to come up with a design of ship that could be a prequel to Enterprise NX-01 for the main titles of the show. The NX-01 was designed by Doug Drexler. John Eaves' final design of the SS Emmette featured circular rocket engines. He also added surface detail to the belly of the ship, which matched the pattern found on the Enterprise NX-01. I like that one right there. That's really nice. I like it. But it's small. Looks like a shuttle, doesn't it? This was an early alternative design for the SS Emmette, but it was felt that it looked too advanced for what was needed. The main body was still delta-shaped, but featured more angular lines. Star Trek universe like delta shapes. Just look at their lapels, their communicators. Another of Eve's alternate ideas for the SS Emmette featured a series of blocky panels, which together made up a more traditional Starfleet ship shape. I don't know about that one, but I really like that one, especially for a show. Ooh, I like that. Before Eve started working on Enterprise, he drew up this stunning poster, which featured many real-life legendary craft alongside ships from Star Trek. When he presented the poster to Rick Berman, he was told that the producers had been thinking about creating a similar idea for the opening titles of Enterprise. There's Apollo, Soyuz. Can't remember what the name of that plane is, but that's broke the sound barrier. The Enterprise, Space Shuttle. Some fictional ones. There's the Constitution class and an E. Cool. And then nearly all the concepts that Eve came up with the SS Emmett featured a ship with a delta-shaped saucer. This one was one that had more of a half-saucer design, but it was felt that it resembled the NX-01 too closely. This was the illustration that the producers picked for the design of the SS Emmett. Eves drew several alternatives for how the rear engines of the craft could look, and the producers thought that the powerful circular rocket engines best suited the names of the ship that they wanted. And here's an article about the opening titles of Enterprise. Featured inspired imagery showing humanity's path to reach the stars. Here we talk to the people who created the titles and looked at the ships and people featured in them. The producers wanted the opening credits of Enterprise to feel much more contemporary to their own times and to connect the series to history of exploration in Earth and space. You know, that's the thing. One thing I instantly did not like about Discovery is because, excuse me, they were blueprints, and Star Trek always featured ships passing by in their opening credits, so that was different about Discovery, and I just didn't like it. I expected to see spaceships. A view from orbit Earth, a 17th century star diagram, 18th century Dutch map, Polynesian explorers, the HMS Enterprise, hot air balloon, Spirit of St. Louis, the Space Shuttle Enterprise, which never flew, it was just the prototype, Amelia Earhart, the Wright Flyer, the Bell X-1, that's what it was, Deep Flight 1, Neil Armstrong, one of my personal heroes, Robert Goddard, Footprint on the Moon, Space Shuttle Atlantis, and the SS Emmett. And its only on-screen appearance was the opening titles of Enterprise. And there's, yeah, I remember that that was a Voyager Amelia Earhart episode. The Space Shuttle Enterprise was also featured in opening titles. Star Trek creator Gene Roddenberry and many members of the original series cast were in attendance when the shuttle was rolled out in 1976. Awesome. Oh, the NASA rover Sojourner was seen in the opening credits. It landed on Mars in 1907 with the aim of analyzing the composition of the Martian rock's atmosphere. The Sojourner was also seen in the Enterprise episode Terra Prime, where the Mars Historical Preservation Society had located the now derelict rover and erected a monument in honor of it. That's cool. And the next one is going to be Alice. Interesting. Let's take a look at this ship. Now, right off the bat, when I open it up, do you notice anything missing there? Yeah, one of the cones had broken off in the package. I don't see a lot of defects with the eaglemoss ships, but once in a while I get something that's broken. It's not worth contacting them for me. I don't have the time, so I'll just fix it myself. Now, see the silver paint? There's a line there. I really don't like that mold line. Silver paint right there at the top of the nacelle looks too thick. But we got some nice silver Aztecing right there. This could almost looks like a drone. since you can't see a bridge anywhere. I do not like that mold line. Though I do like this design. And these four, they resemble Energizer crystals that were glowing purple on the in the magazine. Yeah, those bulges just don't look too well defined for me right there. I don't really care for that. Those mold lines are very noticeable. But the silver Aztecing is great. I mean, look at that. Yeah, I really like this design though. Clean and simple. And once again, we have the clear pieces. Thank you, eaglemoss. Let's see if that'll focus in. There we go. We have some blue highlights there on the side. Look at that. That doesn't look too good there. Neither does my fingernail. Sorry, I work for a living. I don't like the hell that's blank right there either. That's a great design. It's just the molding is, and some of the paint is disappointing, and of course the broken piece. Pretty cool though. There's no detail right there on that square either, which Alright, let's get the Delta as a comparison. You know how I like to compare things. And here we have the two designs side by side. There's a big difference. This is the Emmette that we saw in the opening credits, and this is the Delta wing. Wow, I didn't expect such a big difference. Well, I don't know what to say. Maybe there wasn't as much information. Maybe the CG model just wasn't that finally finished. I don't know. Let's get this camera to focus. There we go. There's a huge difference. Let's do a front. Yeah, look at that. That's a huge difference. I didn't expect that big a difference. This camera, it's got autofocus, but sometimes it needs a nudge. Yeah, there's a big difference between these two. Well, I'm glad I've got the ship, but I've got to admit I like the Delta wing a lot better. Though I like the design. The Aztecing is cool on this one. Honestly, I like both designs. But this one does. The Delta wing looks more futuristic. But with this... the Emmette, eaglemoss got some good things on it, and they got some bad things on it. The paint's good, but there's a few things on it that I'm a little disappointed with, but hey, I'll take it. I mean, where else are you going to get these? This is the flyby off of Star Trek Enterprise. Little did I know that when I... Yeah, my backdrop there is just about right for this, isn't it? Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. We'll see you next video.